Cozy Detectives, and welcome to the Blanket Fort Files. I'm Larisa.
I'm Joy.
We didn't change the notes. And we're here to report on all things coffee and cozy.
It's so funny. I was like sitting here of like, oh, what should be the like silly way we say it this time? And then I looked at the notes and I was like, because I always, even though we have our opening down, I always flip who
You
says,
do.
and I always change the intro. And then I was like, oh, I didn't change the intro. I was like, Joy's got it. She knows her line.
I know. And then I was like, wait. Oh, that's so
That was
funny.
fun. Oh, look, I have a fun bevy today.
You do? What is it? What's in it?
It's a slightly decarbonated Olipop because I don't like carbonation. So I really like Olipop because it already kind of starts off not super carbonated, and then you let it sit for a little bit, and then it's like where I can drink it. And then I have it in a fun little glass.
Very fun. I know. I haven't ever tried any of those. I don't know. I couldn't tell if I was going to like it, so I haven't. But if you like it, I think I will like it. So I will try.
I like it in the flavor. I think I've never had a LaCroix. I think there's probably a little bit more flavor than a LaCroix, but it's not like
Which
flavor.
honestly, I prefer a little more flavor. LaCroix are like flavor.
Yeah.
Just like,
but this might still be a little too flavor for you. I don't know, but I like them because this is the peaches and cream flavor, but it's not super like artificial peach. Like sometimes that kind of peach I can't do, but this is enough where it's like peach.
Yeah. All right. I love a creamsicle too. So that gives me vibes of that. Have you ever, I don't remember if I've asked this, do you do kombucha or no?
I've never tried it, but I feel like I would definitely be, what's her name? Brittany Broski, where she's like, woo!
That's so funny. I know that was my first introduction to her. I think that like most people's, because that went like super viral.
Yeah, I know. And I still can't believe like where she is now. It's so like all because of this meme reaction video.
I know. But she's like, she's genuinely, I'm trying to say like less and I'm stinking at it.
Oh,
but
me too. It's okay. I think it's fine.
I know.
People need to get over that.
I just used to be so good at not saying it. And then I think because I am somewhere between whelmed and overwhelmed in life, my brain just goes blah. So I will try, but I'm sure I'll sneak back into it in like 2 minutes.
I know. It's the only time I really notice how much both of us, but I'm always more critical of myself, is when I'm doing the captions on our reel and it says like, I'm like, oh my God, we say it so, but like, I don't know. Listening to it doesn't feel as jarring, but like seeing it in the captions, I'm just like,
I think it's only the last few days. One was Joy was very bad in the multiverse of time when I was editing the podcast that just came out. I said like so often. I'm not gonna say which one it is because I'm not gonna point it out. But I said it so often that, and I listened back. Do you ever do this? If you send people voice messages, you listen to your own voice message as a response. And I said like so much in that voice message. I was so over it. I was so frustrated with myself. I was about to say like again. Whatever. I'll let it go. I'm sure it'll come back. Anywho's. I forgot what I was going to say now. I got so distracted by the like of it all.
We were talking about drinks and Olipop. I don't know if you had to follow up with that.
I don't
If
remember.
not, I have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, please. What are your updates? What's the haps?
Yeah, so last week, we got 2 American Girl related updates. Ooh. One I'm very excited about. One I'm just kind of like, neither here nor there. So I'll do that one first. They're updating like all of the historic American Girl dolls.
Whoa.
To be like modern versions, like there it is again.
Them?
Now I'm gonna be
I know. We'll have to just let it go. Sorry, that was my bad.
No, it's all good. I'm always like
the look of
thinking about it, but I know Kirsten is getting space buns, which is just odd to me. But the announcement I'm very excited about, and a lot of our cozy detectives sent it to me, which I thought was really cool and sweet. But they are making adult versions of all of the American Girl books.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So what does that look like? Is it them?
I don't know all the full details. My understanding, and I could be totally off base here, my understanding is that it's them in their adult lives, and we're kind of
That's so
checking
fun.
in on them. Yeah, the first one's gonna be Samantha. I think it comes out next year, but
Is it
I'm very
Ooh, I
excited.
clicked on some spam something. Please don't kill the computer.
Oh, no.
I was trying to see the new American Doll.
Boy, like, flies
That
away.
I know, when the podcast just shuts off. I haven't had that happen in a long time where you click on something and it takes you to some other website. I'm like, "Oh, sis,
Right.
the
Blue
American
screen
Girl
of
dolls,
death.
just leave me alone." Um, is it a full-on, like, book?
Mhm. Yeah, like
Whoa.
novel and everything, so I'm
So
very excited. Yeah,
fun.
so if
And
you
they're
send
getting
that
one
to
per
me
doll
or if you
again?
even thought of me when you saw the announcement, thank you. It
Aw.
was very sweet. I got a lot of DMs that day or, like, around that time, so it was very
How
exciting.
fun.
Yeah, but shout out to my mom because she was the one who sent it to me first, and I hadn't heard it yet, and she was the one who, like, told me, so thanks, mom.
What was the last week one? Oh, it was the Nancy Meyers one
Mhm.
when you announced yeah.
Yeah.
So fun. Good
But
job,
then
mom.
I put this in our catch-up notes to talk about, but I want you to be the one to say it
Mm.
because you had kind of hinted at this maybe happening with Mummy
I
4.
Yes. So 2 updates is we got it's like again, it's the same thing. I'm happy and I'm sad about the release date. It's in 2028 and it's not
Uh,
2028 right now. So, I've
Not
waited a
even
long time.
close.
Not even close. So, I'm waiting a long time for it, which makes me sad, but I am potentially excited because there was a rumor going around that Henry Cavill was gonna be who I think he's the villain, which I don't know what that looks like because I'm like, are you the mummy? Like, are you
Are
that was
you
something?
the Mummy?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think he is in the cast at the very least because they were photographed. Oh, I feel so bad. I don't know. I can't think. Your girl got a headache, so I don't remember the character or the actor's name. But it has Brendan Fraser, Rachel Wise, and whatever his name is. Who is the magi. I'll think of what his name is at some point during this. But
You're
they
good.
were photographed all together, the 4 of them. And I
And they were
was
all holding up a 4, right?
Yes, yes. So I'm like, this can't I don't know, sometimes AI be getting me nowadays, and it makes me so mad. And
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
know.
"Leave
It's
Brittany
getting
alone."
too freaky. It's kind of concerning.
I know. But I think that one's real, which would be very cool
Yeah.
because I'd be interested to see him in a role like that. I haven't seen that before.
Mhm.
And the 3 oh, and Jonathan's coming back too, but he wasn't in that photo.
Oh, okay.
Evie's, younger, I think, brother.
Okay, yeah.
So, yes. So I'm excited. And for a second, I was thinking, are they supposed to be making him the child, but fully grown?
Oh,
But that's like
yeah,
a
maybe
pretty
yeah,
aggressive
I mean,
age
maybe
gap.
it's like a maybe the Brendan Fraser, Rachel Wise are gonna be in the flashbacks, and Henry Cavill would be in modern.
Yeah, something,
Mm.
because I don't think that unless I don't know what timeline they're gonna try to put this movie in, but depending on which one they do, I don't think Brendan Fraser's that much older than like, maybe, like, 20 years or something, but
Yeah.
I think in the movie he was in his 30s when they had so it wouldn't make sense for Henry Cavill to be their kid, you know? That would be a
Yeah,
little, like,
there's yeah.
miscast in my opinion, but anyway, that was the update of that
Is
because
it on maybe it's on IMDb. Have you checked there?
I'll wait, you tell me your next update and I can look that up.
Okay. So I've kind of talked about this a few times of my cookbook club is kind of just morphed into different themed monthly meetups.
Yeah.
So we had our February one yesterday. We did a
So
soup
fun.
exchange. It was so much fun. We got to try all the soups, and then we ended up crafting. We all made little bookmarks, which was just really fun. And of
Cute.
course, we had Olympics on in the background because that's all I've been watching for the past week. So it was
What's
very
going on with
fun.
the did you see I mean, this is, like, the drama side of the Olympics,
Oh
but it was,
yeah,
like,
I
when you
went in
block
all
your
of it.
boyfriend everywhere but national TV, your ex. I was
Oh,
just like,
the
"Girl."
Norwegian, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know
I was
about
like, "My
that. I know
guy."
about the Canadians cheating in curling,
Oh, that's the with
the
the little finger flick. I saw that.
Boopgate.
The
Yeah.
it is not called that. That's hilarious.
And then the one I'm still upset about, men's ice skating. Have you heard anything about that?
Ooh, no, what
Oh,
happened?
let me tell you, buckle up. It's so upsetting. So, in a lot of the ice skating events, they do two skates. So, for men, it was for ice dancing, it was they had the men's short program and then the free skate, which is like a longer performance. And
Okay.
so Ilya Malinin, I think, I don't remember how to say his last name. He's the American skater and he's known as the quad god. Like he does a quad axel. He's kind of like
Oh,
they're calling him like the Simone Biles of ice skating. Like he's doing tricks
whoa,
that
that's
only
intense.
he can do. And so ever there was all this hype up for him. He got in first after the short program. There was a day in between, and I didn't know this until watching the speed skating, but they do speed skating and ice skating on the same rink and they need
Oh.
different ice consistencies. So
Mm.
the speed skating needs it slicker because they're trying to go fast, whereas ice skating needs it like firmer because they're,
You're cutting
doing
into it kind
tricks and
of.
jumping
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. Well, I everyone is pretty sure they didn't firm the ice up enough because 80% of the men in the longer skate fell, including Ilya. He ended up getting
Whoa.
8th place.
Ah,
Yeah, and this
that's
huge upset.
wild.
Yes, and he when he went to
Ooh.
do his quad axel, he only did a single.
Oh, so there is something wrong with that ice.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just like
Oh,
everyone
man.
was just like, "What is going on?" And I saw this meme, and it made me laugh. But it was also sad. It was like, unfortunately, my body doesn't know the difference between watching men's ice skating and being held at gunpoint.
Oh, yeah, like with your nervous system? My nervous
Yeah.
system doesn't know the difference between a tiger and yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, that would stress me out, especially
Yeah.
watching. Imagine you're, like, 3rd in line to go up after the and you're just watching them,
Yeah,
like,
and
eat
everyone's
it, and you're
falling,
like,
falling, falling,
"Something's wrong
falling,
with
falling.
this."
Yeah, and
Why wouldn't you just stop it and be like, "Hold on, people, hold on."
yeah, like,
Like,
this isn't I don't yeah, I don't know, I don't
oh,
think they'll do a
snap.
redo, hopefully they will, but yeah, it was just, like, really upsetting, and then there's, like, controversy with the pairs ice dancing because French
Mm.
won gold, and they're really problematic, and the French judge scored them way, way higher than any other
Oh
judge, and they scored
my
us
goodness, there's a
way
lot going
lower than
on.
any other judge. Yeah, there's so much drama, but I still love it because I love the Olympics.
I feel like that also is one of those things where it makes it even more, I don't know, like, intriguing, like, it's
It's like
somehow
almost like a soap opera.
that's what I was thinking, it's like a
Yeah.
reality show and the Olympics in one.
Basically, yeah, and then there's this,
That's wild.
creator online, her name is Coach Jackie, and I got into her watching her stuff in the Summer Olympics, but she I'm sorry, I really struggled over that, was like,
You're doing
"So
great.
summer." She does women's sports specifically, and so she'll do a lot
Mm,
of, like, Olympian stories and stuff, and she's just a really good storyteller.
that's cool.
But I won't go into like all of the ones she's covered because this is not an Olympics episode. But I will just share one that was just like really got me in my feels. Um, there was a Brazilian biathlon, so it's like a marathon cross country skiing.
Whoa.
And she didn't do super well, but it was a big deal because she's from Brazil and they don't really have mountains to
Mhm.
ski on. And she was going to compete in the last Winter Olympics, but she was in this horrible car crash on the way there and like
Oh,
almost
man.
lost her life. And so she like rebuild back up to be able to compete in this
Oof.
Olympics. And she hugged literally every single athlete when they crossed the finish line.
What a nuggie, that's
Yeah,
so
I know, so
sweet.
sweet. So, yeah, she does all kinds of stories like that, which I just, like, really appreciate. I love, like, all the backstories to the athletes.
Yes. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why both of us love doing, I mean, obviously hanging with each other in the cozy detectives, but also all the
Mhm.
behind the scenes, like, we love a behind the scenes moment. That's where
Yeah,
we're, like, digging into all the things and doing all of that.
exactly. Well, shall we
Speaking
get
of, should we
into it?
yeah.
Beat
Today's a
your
part
line.
today's a part 2 of PBS shows, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited about it. I really loved both of our shows.
Yeah.
have probably more core memories of your show maybe than mine,
Yeah,
but
same. I think I've definitely watched yours and I
yeah.
liked it, but I don't know. And maybe this is just because I've watched mine more as an adult
Yeah, same.
now. But also,
Yeah.
there's gonna have to be a part 3 because there's already other shows that I'm like, okay, what about
Yes.
this? What about, like, I have to do a
Mhm.
Wishbone episode.
Cute.
So
I'll do,
yes.
what is it called? The Dragon Tales.
Oh,
Love
good. That's a
I
good
love
one
the Dragon
too.
Tales. I don't
Me
know if that's
too.
PBS or not, but I loved it. So,
I think
my
so.
case file this week is Reading Rainbow,
Oh, so good.
which, I wanna sing it, but based upon a second part of this case file, which I will get to, your girl will not be singing it because I want this to stay up on the interwebs. So, basically, Reading Rainbow is a show that premiered in 1983 and
Wow.
ran through 2006 for the original. There
Wow.
is there's like a very interesting second one, maybe question mark. Kind of confused to get to there as well. I keep doing this intrigue things, but so in 1983, it started first in Nebraska, and then Buffalo picked it up, and
Oh, okay.
Levar, yeah, for like the radio stations, or
Yeah.
not the radio stations, the TV stations. So
Yeah.
the host, being Levar Burton, was 26, which I did not realize.
No way.
I know.
Good for him.
And Levar's mom was an English teacher, which is one of his connections and
Oh,
why he really wanted
cute.
to do it. It's
Yeah.
also very interesting because in interviews, just talking about Reading Rainbow and his career overall, the thing that he really, I think it's like our generation asking this question because again, this is what I know him from. Like
Mhm.
he was in Star Trek, he was in Roots, I believe, and those were like very popular, well-known things, but I know him from Reading Rainbow. And people were
Yeah.
asking him in interviews basically like, what if you end up being like the Reading Rainbow guy? Like, are you good with that being your legacy? And
Yeah.
basically his comments were, if I'm known for helping kids learn to love to read, I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
that's a great legacy,
Right?
honestly.
Honestly. So, it also has a I didn't realize how as it critically acclaimed or however you phrase that, this show was. So, it won 26 Emmys. Wild.
What?
I know.
That's
Apparently,
amazing. Good for
according
them.
to the interwebs, over 250 awards in total.
Dang.
21 seasons and over 150 episodes.
Wow.
So, it was a lot. I think what it is my connection with the show. I would watch it, but I think similarly to what we'll get to with yours, my rewatches of this, like this is very obviously child based, whereas
Mhm.
yours I can rewatch in a is it low stimulus type of like a feel and it
Yeah.
still hits. But the thing I did like about this is this also I rewatched an episode because I was like, I don't remember this.
Cute.
And it was the one where they're talking about like Italy and making pizza and doing all that. And this
Oh,
also is
fun.
still very low. Is it low stimulus? Am I saying that right? Low
Yeah,
stimulus.
I think
Yeah.
low stimulating or yeah, that
However
it
the
makes
phrasing is
sense to
supposed to be.
me.
You
Yeah.
get it, cozy detectives. But I was thinking about it because sometimes I do watch like little kiddos nowadays, and because there's
Mhm.
so much very like
It's
jump over here, do
overwhelming.
this.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna try it and I will report back. I tried to pitch, what was it, Veggie Tales, and they were like, "We're afraid of Veggie Tales," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." But I'm gonna try to pitch Reading Rainbow. I don't know why they said that. I'm like, "It's vegetables, kids, chill out." Like,
Yeah, and
it's
it's that's also very calming, and I've
right?
heard that a lot of kid shows and Cocomelon's, like, the biggest culprit
It's
of this,
crazy.
and it's actually bad for
Yep,
kid development now, is,
super.
like, that super
Attention span is like
overstimulating
nothing.
is, like,
Yeah,
harmful, and where we grew up, it was very just like, "We're just
yep.
chilling, man."
Yep, absolutely. So I wanna pitch this. I'm gonna try to do it this week. Pitch this as, like, a something that we watch to
Mhm.
see if it's something where they will, like 'cause I don't know how I got it. I think it's just because sometimes I look up stuff. I got on, like, Parent Talk, and I'm like, "I'm not a parent." But it was a dad talking about if he shows his kid the low stimulus shows, they don't get
Mhm,
as, like, angry and hyper, but if you show them very
mhm.
high stimulus shows and then you turn off the show, they get, like, mad. And it's like, I
Mm,
have noticed that. Like, if I walk
yeah.
in to where I, like, help with kiddos and they're watching something and I'm like, "Okay, let's turn this off and do something else." They're like, "Hey!" And I'm like, "You're 3, calm down. Like, we're gonna play a game. We're
You're
gonna
3, calm down.
Yeah, calm it down,
I need
kiddo.
to say that to adults sometimes. You're
Yeah,
40,
you're
calm
40. Yeah,
down.
exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. You're 40, Susan. Calm down. Um, but yeah, so anyway, this is like a very low stimulus show, but I really like the layout of it. And I didn't
Mhm.
remember this, but this was one of those like every episode kind of being the same in that their first Levar Burton says, okay, this is our theme for the week. And then the book is read aloud. And sometimes they'll like zoom in and out of the book. And that's kind of how they would like keep you entertained, I guess, is one of the things they pointed out. And then the real world connection, meaning like in the Italy one, there was the Italy book, and then he's like making a pizza and he's talking about pizza and he's talking about yeast, and it's like this is actually alive and this is so they kind of connect it directly to whatever book or whatever theme it is they're talking about. And then
Yeah.
the at the very end, there's kids that are giving you book reviews about other books that are similar to the one that they read in the show. And
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
that's such a good layout. I feel like it just
Yeah.
like it can work for so many different things. They were at a volcano one time. LeVar was talking about how he did a hot air balloon one time. It's just that's
That's so
so
cool.
fun. And I think similarly to a lot of the shows that I feel like have lasted for so long, a reason that this one I believe hits is because he doesn't have like a teacher voice. He doesn't have like talking to kids in like a baby talk type of a voice.
Yeah.
He's just talking directly to them. And he's just talking normal. He's being very sincere. He's being very himself. They're talking about a bunch of different subjects. They're making it very interesting, but they're not talking like down to kids in a
Mhm.
very similar way. About to connect it to Gilmore Girls, so hold on to this like very long string. But kind of how Amy doesn't talk down to the audience. She expects you just to catch it and to keep up. I feel like it's a
Yeah.
similar thing to this, where he's saying like, "Hello, small children." It's like, ugh, like creepy. Stop being weird. Like, just
Yeah,
talk.
like, I only saw a few episodes here and there of, like, Dora the Explorer, but I feel like that's one where it's
Yeah.
very like, "Do you see blah, blah, blah?" Like, there's
Yeah,
just that very,
yeah.
like, "You're an idiot for being a child."
Yeah, yeah. And this one, he's talking about how you have to like throw up a pizza. I mean, the one I watched again, but like throw up a pizza and the yeast and you have to let it rise. And it's these things where kids can really use it in everyday
Yeah.
life versus like, do you see the A in the background, children? It's like, I don't know. Which again, there's a time and place for it, but I do
Right.
think that's one of the reasons why this lasted for so long and has the lasting impact that it has. So
Mhm.
the reason in general that the show was created is because in the 80s, when TV was starting to become very popular, they were seeing a pretty aggressive decline in reading and reading comprehension and reading level during summer. So when the kids would
Yeah.
go back to school, it would take a few weeks at the very least for the teachers to kind of get them back up to the correct reading level. So they were trying to come up with a show that could connect that, but again, not be weird and hokey, not have it feel like school, have it feel like you just are very interested in wanting to see what happens in this and
Mhm.
how this all plays out. And in the real life connection, also in my episode, they went to, I don't know where they were at, but they went to this family that has been in the firework business for 6 generations, and he was showing like the inside of fireworks. I'm like, I'm interested. I've never seen the inside of a
What?
firework that I
No,
remember.
literally, that's so
So it was
cool.
right. It was just fun. Like they're like, here's what a firework looks like on the inside, and we call them this and all that. So the show became so popular that not only was it played during summer, but also it continued through the school year. And this is one of those shows similar to like Bill Nye the Science Guy, where when you saw,
Another one we need to do a
I
case file
know,
on.
I know. When you saw the TV like squeak into the room, this was one of those shows that potentially the teacher was putting
Yeah.
on. And so it was part of that edutainment. And that was one of the big reasons why they at first created the show. Um, and I thought this was really lovely. So being a PBS show, one, they struggle with money like the whole time. So
Mhm.
at some points, I don't know for how many seasons, but they did say that Barnes and Noble pitched in some at one point.
Oh.
At year 20, yeah, right? So 83, yeah, at year 20, they got an award. I think it was at the Emmys, and LeVar Burton went up and accepted it and basically said, "This is probably our last season because we don't have funding."
Oh,
And they
yeah.
got a bunch of funding because he said that. So that
Yeah.
was great. Was able to the show to last a little bit longer. But even when and I didn't realize they overlapped, but he got Star Trek, which I actually don't know how long he was on that Starry Coast Detectives, but while doing Star Trek, the team there really wanted him to still be able to do Reading Rainbow. And so they would
Mhm.
make sure that he had the time to also do Reading Rainbow while doing
Oh,
Star Trek,
that's nice.
which I think is wonderful because, again,
Yeah.
how many shows nowadays would you be like, "Oh, yeah, you wanna do that PBS show that you wanna do? Sure, like, we'll make sure that you have
Yeah,
time to do that." Like,
right.
I
That's
love
really
that.
awesome.
Right? He also was on Mister Rogers, which has been a previous PBS case
Yeah,
file.
last PBS.
Yeah. So it was I was just like, "Oh, I don't remember seeing this clip," or, "I didn't remember that clip." But in talking about Mister Rogers, he said he was a friend and a mentor, a remarkable human being. I feel blessed to have known him. I thought that that was just so sweet. I just feel like, again, it's like Mister Rogers respected him, he respected Mister Rogers. I just feel like it's just I don't know. There's just something about that that really warms my heart. And he had a segment on, I think it was towards the beginning of the show where like meaning like the beginning of Reading Rainbow where it wasn't as popular or maybe wasn't as big yet, but he went on Mister Rogers and had a segment and he read a book and that's really again what created a lot of the traction for it, which I thought was very
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Um,
awesome.
unfortunately, like
Uh-oh.
I know. This is where it gets confusing, and I was like, "Ooh, well, I'll skip over that a little bit," but it seemed to be a somewhat contentious thing. But then they all I don't know, it's weird. It's like it was like somewhat contentious, but then at the end of it, everybody was like, "We're good to go. Like you do you, I do me. Like good luck with your future endeavors," type of a deal.
Mhm,
But there was something with the name Reading Rainbow because LeVar Burton did a Kickstarter where he was trying to get it back and it was
mhm,
going really well. But then, like, one of the TV stations was like, well, you're implying that this is Reading Rainbow because you're using it, you're saying like Reading Rainbow or someone else is saying
mm.
like reading. So it became a thing. So in the trying to reboot of the show, and this was like years and years in like the legal process, which I'm like, whoa, I had no idea. But that all happened and played out. And what ended up happening is LeVar Burton did create an app that was very similar to Reading Rainbow. Like there was the different clouds in the sky that you could do
Mhm,
different books and you could create different things. And that was like specifically for teachers. And so he also was trying to do a show and things like that. I don't know all the details of it, but all of that happened. He does have a podcast now.
Oh,
Talking about it,
cool.
or he referenced it in an interview. I didn't look it up, but he did reference him having a podcast in an interview, which I
Ugh,
thought was very
I wish we
fun.
could get him on as a guest, that'd be so cool.
That would be wild. That would
I
be
would
so fun.
cry.
I would cry too. I'd be like, childhood.
Yeah.
Um, but the new version,
Oh, I'm
question
glad
mark?
you're gonna talk about this.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of details. I don't have too much because there's not too much out there. So there was
Mhm,
or is, I'm honestly not really sure. So in let me start this way. In October of 2025 on Kidzuko YouTube channel, there
mm.
is a reboot, which is a 4 episode, 1 season Reading Rainbow, which has a new host, Michael the Librarian, who
And he's
got
amazing. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all, but
I'm not really, but he got popular on TikTok during the COVID times.
yeah, I follow him. I think he's really great. Yeah, he, was a librarian,
Yeah.
and was just like very similar, I feel like, to Levar and to my case file, just like a very calming presence, and just really spoke to the power of
Yeah,
libraries and what
very
they have,
passionate about that.
not just on kids, but on adults too, but specifically kids.
Mhm,
Um, and had this like yeah, he really blew up on TikTok for his positivity, and then it
mhm.
got announced he does a podcast too, but it got announced that he was doing Reading Rainbow, and everyone was basically like, if we would give this to anyone, it would be Michael the librarian. No one else we would let do this, but he deserves
That's
it.
awesome. Yeah, so the thing that was confusing to me is there hasn't been a 2nd season announced, and
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, he was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and she asked basically, like, "Is there a 2nd season?" And he wasn't really sure yet, but
Yeah.
the 4 episodes have done really, really well. Like, they pretty much have either gotten a million plus for each of the 4
Yeah.
episodes. So I think that shows that the interest for it is definitely there.
There. Yeah.
He like you said, he was a librarian, kind of did basically any and every job in the library throughout his time.
Yeah.
Also was a homeschool kid, which I think is,
Mhm.
like, really sweet, coming from only, I guess, a 2-year homeschool kid of myself, um but yes, so that is available on YouTube. On that same channel, it does have a lot of the original episodes from the original Reading Rainbow as well. So I found that
Yeah.
interesting. That is where because again, I was like, oh, let me watch an episode of this. That's where I saw the Dragon Tales pop up, and I was like, oh yeah, Dragon Tales. I forgot about that.
So good.
But yes, so that is the current up to date as far as we know, because it was two. It was 4 episodes total, 2 episodes 1 month and 2 episodes the second month. So I think it was like October and November each
Yeah.
had 2 episodes. So we are waiting in the wings for more episodes of
Hopefully. Yeah.
Reading Rainbow. But
So
yeah,
good.
I basically find it cozy because it is that first of all the song is
Um,
amazing and killer and puts
Butterfly
you right back
in
in
the sky. That's how we're not
right?
gonna get copyrighted.
I know. Yeah, the reason I made that joke is because when Kelly Clarkson was interviewing him, she sang it. She's like, "Am I allowed to sing that? I don't know, but I just did." I was like,
I feel like if anyone's allowed to, it's Kelly. She can sing anything
right?
she wants.
That's what I was thinking. So it's like she's good. Um, but yes, because of that, because I do remember it being wheeled into the classroom and shown, and it does feel very summer to me, and I think
Mhm.
that's a testament to exactly what they wanted to do, which was make kids enjoy reading in the summer. So that is Reading Rainbow.
Super fun.
Woohoo!
All
Okay, I'm
right.
excited about yours. Yee!
Me too. My case file today is The Joy of Painting, aka Bob Ross.
Love it.
So this show was created. I didn't realize he actually created the show
Mm,
by Bob Ross himself, and it ran from also 1983
good
through
year.
1994. And basically, if you are unfamiliar with this, it is we obviously talk about a lot of cozy things here. It's our whole deal. But I would say this is like the pinnacle of cozy
Yeah,
TV. Like, I don't think it gets cozier than Bob Ross.
yeah.
Basically, he guides you through how to paint like a scenic painting. He does a lot of landscapes. Sometimes he'll do a cabin in the woods in a
Mhm.
30-minute episode. And he's like live painting. And I'll get into that a little
It's
bit. But
crazy. So good.
yeah. There were a total of, this blew my mind, 33 seasons,
Whoa.
429 episodes.
Wow. So where are
Yeah,
those 429 paintings?
right? Oh, I actually have, there's more than that because, well, we'll get into it. But
Oh, right, I'm excited.
the last two seasons were, it was kind of complicated, but those two did air after he passed away.
Oh, wow.
So he technically did 31. Um, so this wasn't really originally like a PBS show. It started very, very small potatoes. The first season aired in 1983 and it was produced by WNVC in Falls Church, Virginia. And
Mm.
then by the second season, later that year, the show was produced by WIPB in Muncie, Indiana, until its end in 1994. And it didn't start airing on PBS stations and for reruns and syndication until 1992. So almost by the time
Oh.
it was done was when PBS picked it up. So it was like very small local programming for the longest time. So anyway, so it wasn't just 429 paintings because for every episode, he did 3 versions of that painting.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the first one he would do before taping and it sat off on an easel. So like when he would like show the painting in the beginning, it wasn't like we cut to the end and showed it at the
Oh,
beginning. That was, he painted that before and it was sitting on an easel like off screen so he could like reference it as he talked you through how to do it.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That
so
makes
then
more
he
sense
would,
too, because I'm like, how are you coming up with all of this on the fly? Like, this feels
right?
overwhelming.
And then he would do the second one live and he literally did it in the 30 minutes. Sometimes it
Yeah.
would vary, but for the most part it was in the 30 minutes. And then he would go back and do a third one with a lot more detail because he had these instructional books that he sold and so the third one
Oh,
would
he
be
did
for
talk about
that.
that.
Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, I mean you were like 429 paintings and I'm like, "No, multiply that by
times
3," which
3.
is
That's
right.
wild.
Yeah, he said he estimated in his lifetime he probably did like 30,000 paintings.
Oh, I wanna find one at a thrift store so bad.
Right?
I wanna find one so bad. It'd be so cool. I also
Yeah,
like never look at the paintings because I'm not in the market for paintings, but I wanna do
right. Now you're gonna
add it to
start.
my list. Yeah. I'm like, is Bob Ross written anywhere on this?
Yeah. And so all 3 for each episode were either donated to various PBS stations, there's some in
Mm,
the Smithsonian, or then he also has his own company, so they kept some in, like, now his estate. So, yeah, most of them were just donated. Um, and basically how it worked for the episode, so most of them started with a blank white canvas, and
yes.
he did this, it's called wet on wet
Yeah,
painting. So
yeah.
basically, like, a lot of times in painting you have to wait for the layers to dry, but he just did, and it really created these
Blending.
soft, like, blurry, glowy kind of style paintings, but it allowed him to do it in the 30 minutes.
Mm.
Sometimes there if it he anticipated it taking longer than 30 minutes to do and explain, he would do kind of the earlier stages before taping, and then I didn't realize this is when specifically they would show this, but if the painting was shorter than the 30 minutes, they would fill up that time. A lot of times they would show his pet squirrel, Peapod.
That's a great filler. Like, we got 4 minutes of people.
Exactly. Or then sometimes it would
That's
show him,
awesome.
like, in nature or some, like,
Uh,
event he went to, but it was usually Peapod the squirrel.
see, this is the low intensity content I am
See, yeah, I'm
here
telling
for.
you, it's a peak cozy. We're hanging out with a pet squirrel. And
My next
then
door neighbor, old lady, had pet squirrels
no
when I was a
way.
kid,
That's so
and she'd
funny.
feed them, and she'd let me feed them sometimes, and I'd be like, "Don't bite me."
That's so funny.
Oh,
And he was just, like, again, the most calming presence, and he
yeah.
honestly, I d the a group of friends, we tried to follow one time, and I was just, like,
Oh.
too stressed the whole time because 'cause I'm not very good at painting, but he's just so calming, and he's like, "We're gonna paint some happy little trees and happy little clouds." Like, happy little was, like,
Yep.
very much
Have
his
you heard the
thing.
song?
Yes, I
The
was
song,
about to
yeah.
ask you if you had.
I love it. So good. I think
I
you
used
sent
to
it to
listen
me
to
when I
that
got
all.
really stressed one day. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
you did.
I used to listen to it in college all the time when I was stressed. It's so
That's so
nice.
good.
And he would encourage, like, if you made a mistake, it wasn't a mistake, it was just a happy
Yep.
little accident.
Love it.
And so I'll get into a little bit of how the show started and one of the producers, but after he passed away and kind of like ASMR became really popular, she was like, he kind of was the pioneer of quote unquote ASMR, of this like calming,
Yeah.
relaxing, like sound based quality. Cause like his voice obviously is really soothing, but even just like the paint strokes were just like so nice to listen to. And then he would always, I thought it was funny, but I was more tickled by him getting tickled by this because I'm like, you've done this so many times, and he gets amused every time when he would clean his
I
brush
knew
and
what
he'd
you
be
were
like,
gonna say.
"Brrr." He's like, gotta beat the devil out of it. Brrr. He would
He's so
get tickled
excited.
every
He's like,
time.
"Gurr, gurr, gurr, gurr," and then he's like, "Hee hee."
I know. I loved how he loved it so much. It was
He
so
did.
good.
I think that's part of
Um,
it too, is like watching people really love what they're doing and
yeah,
watching them be so excited about it, just really it just adds more to it and makes it because it's so genuine. Like he really
exactly.
did get that excited every time he beat the
Yep.
devil out of the paintbrush.
Brrr. So good. Um, but kind of like the backstory behind it, which I had no idea. So he was in the Air Force for 20 years before he had
Whoa.
this whole second life as a painter. Um, so he actually dropped out of high school as a freshman, and then 4 years later, he joined the Air Force in 1961, and he worked up to becoming a master sergeant. And it was like during his time in the Air Force, he became like passionate about oil painting. Like he learned how to do that. And so he started like selling paintings. And so he ended up making more money selling his paintings than being in the military. So he was like, okay, bye, I'm out.
I love it.
And it's just, I don't know, because he's so calming, the idea of him being this like military man, just like, I can't wrap my brain around it because I'm just like,
Yeah.
that does not compute to me. So, anyways, after he retired in 1981, he started working for Alexander Magic Art Supplies Company, owned by Bill Alexander, who is actually who Bob Ross learned how to paint from. So he became this like traveling salesman for this art supplies and a tutor. And there was this woman named Annette Kolowski, I think that's how you say that. She took one of his classes and thought he was really, really good. And she's like, you could kind of do this on your own. So she got together with her husband and then Bob's wife at that time and Bob all kind of pooled their money together and they started Bob Ross Inc. And they were
Oh,
like, we're gonna like do this, you're gonna teach your own classes. And so they taped one of his classes in Falls Church, Virginia, and that became the pilot in the very first episode. So that's kind of where it started. And so Annette kind of became the producer, and she was the one who was talking about the ASMR stuff. And unfortunately, after he passed away, there was also a lot of legal battles and situations of like where his stuff was going to go and he was trying, I guess there was like a falling out right before he passed away, so he took them out of his will and was trying to
oh
leave stuff
wow.
to his
That's rough.
kids. So yeah, there was kind of some murky stuff. And the reason we're so familiar, obviously it's on PBS and there's like a collection on Netflix, there's a collection on YouTube, there's a collection on Peacock. So I don't think there's a place where you can watch like all 400 plus episodes, but there's
Yeah.
enough where you can really experience it if you've never seen it before. Um, and a few other things that I thought were really interesting. His like signature afro hairstyle was actually because they were trying to save money on haircuts because I guess he used to get this crew cut that got really expensive. So he just kind of like let it
Whoa.
grow out, but he actually didn't like his hair like that.
That's
But
wild.
because it was like put into the company logo and it kind of became his signature, he felt he couldn't change it. And I'm just like, oh, it's
Poor
just so
Nookie.
iconic to Bob Ross. Like people do Halloween costumes and they get a brown afro to wear. Um,
Whoa, I will say we should share a photo of him with not the, like, afro. That dude could walk next to me, and I'd have no
Yeah,
idea
it
that was
looks
him.
complete. And that's the thing, he's
That's
so
wild.
recognizable with the
So
afro, but
recognizable.
without it, he's just like a regular dude. And then like he basically wore this same, he's very Luke Danes,
Yeah.
same like variation of
Very.
outfit, but he was just kind of like, this is what people expected me. Like I don't need to do a lot of frills. He was in a plain black studio. It was very like low, again, low stimulus. Um, but I have a quote from him that I think just sums up Bob and this show. It said, I got a letter from somebody here a while back. Oh, I wish I could say it in his like, I got a letter here from somebody a while back. And they said, Bob, everything in your world seems to be happy. And he said, that's for sure. That's why I paint. It's because I can create the kind of world that I want, and I can make this world as happy as I want it. Shoot, if you want the bad stuff, watch the news. And I'm like,
Yes,
so true.
Bob. Yes, we're here for this. So
So yeah, he sadly passed away at only 52 because he liked the cigarette,
mm.
which I didn't know, but I'm like, that kind of tracks. He seems very hippie like.
Yeah.
So they ended up creating 2 more seasons with some of his finished and unfinished paintings. And then last year, actually, they had, and they've only had one. So if you can pull your money, Joy, maybe not find it at a thrift store, but they're auctioning off 30 originals to
Whoa.
help the funding cuts to public broadcasting that they're currently facing.
Oh,
So
that feels like Bob would want them to do that for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. And then I didn't know this either. We'll have to make it like a bucket list trip, but there is a Bob Ross museum in his studio in Muncie, Indiana.
Cute.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah. So I
word.
thought that
I
was kind of
love
cool to
that.
learn. Yeah. But
Oh,
obviously,
so
I don't think I need to really say why the show is cozy. Again, it's like
so good.
I was trying to think, I'm like, is there anything cozier than Bob Ross? And I truly don't think there is. Like,
Right?
it's so cozy. He's very sweet. He's well, he is powerful, but it's like very just like uplifting. It's reassuring. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
Yep.
safe space. It's the lowest stimulus you can possibly imagine. His little theme song is relaxing. His voice is relaxing. Like,
Mhm.
truly peak cozy. So that's
Oh,
Bob
it's
Ross
so
and the
good.
joy of painting.
I forgot that it was called that. So when you first wrote that, I was like, "Wait, who are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah."
Well, and it's interesting too because like I talked about the different collections on the streaming platforms. I think they're all kind of called something else. Like it's like a Bob Ross blank collection. So it's also
Oh.
kind of confusing too. And they
Oh,
even have,
it's so
I don't know
good.
if I still do. I need to check. I have a couple episodes like on DVD that I found at a half price books.
Oh, I love that. I know when
Yeah.
there have been a couple times more recently when I've gotten really I feel like you recommended this to me. Maybe it's because you were like, "That's what I do." But, like, to sit down and just watch a full episode, and I'll tell you what, it legitimately helps when your brain is at, like, full
Yeah.
capacity
It alters
and
your
you
brain
just
chemistry, I'm convinced. I haven't watched it in a while.
absolutely.
I need to do that before bed. It's so relaxing.
Yeah, and I really do like the way that he talks about, like, this is our world. You can do whatever you want if you want. You could put this tree here, you could put that tree there, and then just like the happy little accidents, the happy little trees. I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
mom. I
I
love it.
know. It's so
Oh my
good.
word. So good. I'm gonna watch that tonight. We'll see.
Me too.
We'll see
I know
if Joy
I
comes
don't know if I have any Olympics I still need to watch.
back.
That's not cozy.
Right. Oh, I know with the ice.
All the
The
drama,
drama.
I know.
The drama.
What's your 2% this week?
Mine is it's funny because I feel like I'm not like stretching the definition of it, but I was just proud of myself because I'm calling it like I think because again, it was just a recent movie that I watched, but a Poppy outfit from the People We've Been on
Oh,
Vacation
people
where
with
she's
me.
like
Mhm.
yeah, where she's like known for like very colorful and very all of that. I don't know, is she in the
Yeah.
book as well? She
Yes.
has to be, right? Yeah, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that would be quite an aggressive thing to add to the movie, but I
It
have
was
the
funny
book.
too, a lot of people were like, "Ugh, she's a little too much. She was a little obnoxious." And I'm like, "You clearly didn't actually read the book because Poppy was a lot more eccentric in the book, I feel like, than in the movie."
Oh.
Like, she was
Oh,
definitely in the movie, but I feel like in the book, she's just, like,
she's just
even
really
more.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think yeah, I think what it was is just her being her, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
just
Yeah, true
fully
to her.
her at all times, and I'm calling it my Poppy outfit because I was very scared to wear it
Cute.
because I typically will wear just, like, jeans and
Mhm.
a shirt or something like that, but I got these red and pink striped pants, and I
Cute.
got them kind of
You're
for
very in
Valentine's
your
Day.
stripe era.
I'm loving it. I love the stripes, I'm loving the polka dots, I'm loving it. I think I'm just ready
Cute.
for color. I think again, I
Mhm.
I bet I said this last year, Cozy Detectives, but I feel like when we get to this part of winter where it feels so close
Yeah.
to spring, but it's so far. So, like, dark outside right now.
Yeah.
I feel like my body is just ready for color, ready for spring, ready for the things, and especially this year, I'm just ready for, like, the new life of stuff. So, I did
Yeah.
it. I wore the pants. I was very scared about it, and I wore them with, like, a periwinkle top, and so I was like, "Is this
Cute.
too much?" I, like,
Aw,
texted
do
my
you have a
friend. I was
picture?
like I do. I'll send it to you. I'm kinda scared to share it with the cozy
Oh,
detective.
that's okay. As long as I can see it, and then I'll hype you up, and then you'll be confident to show
I
it.
know. I'd love to wear it kind of just, like, out. I did wear it to a
Yeah.
coffee shop today, which made me feel very proud of
Cute.
myself, but I'd like to wear it out to something else. I don't know. But anyway, that was my 2% just because I was proud of myself because I did
Fun.
it and I wanted to do it. But I think what it is I've never really styled a pair of pants like that. And I was like, I just don't want it to look
Mhm.
like I'm wearing like my pajamas out. And it's just like they
Yeah.
let her escape. And I'm like, now it's outside clothes, I swear. So that's my 2%. What's your
Fun.
2%?
So mine, was I think it wasn't necessarily intentional, but it definitely made my life just 2%, not more than 2, but a little cozier. So, the place I work at, about once a month, we get to bring our pet to work, and so last Friday,
Ah,
I got to bring Rosie to work with me, and it's just so fun having her there. She gets in her little bed, and sometimes she'll wanna sit in my lap at my desk, and I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, just having your pet there, it just, like, makes the
yeah.
workday so much better and cozier. So, I was sitting down and I was like, I don't know if I've necessarily like picked something out intentionally for a 2%, but I was like, that is a good 2%. Like it literally just made my day that mumuch cozier. So
Yeah, 100%. That's so fun. I feel like more
yeah.
workplaces, if possible, that would be so fun if more workplaces did
Yeah.
that. Because again, way more cozy. What about our
Yeah.
cozy detectives?
This one really came through. Shout out to Susanna. So I try if we're like don't have some 2% submitted, I'll put like a little question box. And then I just kind of forgot. I knew we were recording, but I forgot that I didn't have a Cozy Detective 2%. And I was checking our Instagram this morning and then we had a DM from Susanna with a 2%. And I was
Cute.
like, you must have
Ah,
like, I
she
must have been
know.
setting up feelers.
The
So
cozy detectives know.
yeah, so this is my plea, Cozy Detectives. If you ever want to email or DM us a 2% cozier, and if you don't know what that is, if like you're a newer listener, it's where you do something that just brought a little bit more coziness to your day. But if you ever want to just share that, you don't have to wait
Hmm.
for a question box. Please send that in. We love them so much. But Susanna went to Waffle House for Valentine's Day, which
Cute.
I don't know if you have those where you live. They're more of
Yeah.
a southern thing. Okay, cool. I know there's parts of the country that don't have Waffle Houses. And I thought this was really cute. She said they decked it out and gave out little chocolate box favors, which I was like, oh, that's so Emily Gilmore.
Oh,
And they had a balloon arch and she sent pictures and it was just like really cute and festive.
cute.
And she said they were able to eat dinner for under $25 and they didn't have to wait in line
Ah,
because, like Valentine's Day, it's
perfect.
always like
Yeah,
super chaotic.
crazy.
And she said they also tried a couples yoga class at their local YMCA.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah,
Ah, what a good 2%. It's like two
I know.
2%, 4%.
Exactly. Yeah, I appreciate you sending that in. That was really, really
Yeah.
sweet. So,
Perfect
sounds like a
timing.
really fun day. But thank you for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Blanket Fort Files Pod. Do send that 2% cozier, and it's so fun to read and share. And subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Join us next week in the Blanket Fort because we're going to discuss the coziness of our spring bucket lists. Making
Ooh.
a comeback with the bucket list. I'm very excited.